Welcome. My name is Georgine and I teach online yoga and movement classes. Today we'll be working through a 20-minute stretch sequence that's inspired by more people than usual working from home. So if you're sitting for long periods and you have a tendency to hunch over, this is going to be a great sequence for you and just generally as well. So for this, you have the option to use a block or a pillow of some sort, and then a strap. Any kind of belt or band or something else will work as well. And if you're having the strap, just make sure there's no big loop that you can use easily. Okay. Just a quick reminder before we get started. If you find this class beneficial, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified every time a new video comes out. All right, so let's get started. So having your strap about mid-mat so it's easily grabbable, and we'll make our way to our backs. When you come to your back, just hugging your knees to chest, rock side to side, whatever feels good. Taking big sighs at the mouth, letting everything go. Letting your shoulder blades squish down your head and tail. Feel your ribs. And slowly place your feet down to the mat. Grab hold of your strap. Lasso your right foot with the strap. I like to go to the ball of the foot. I find a little bit more stable. Let your shoulders relax down, neck long, and find your breath. Option 1, stay here with your left foot planted, or if it feels comfortable for you, you can extend your left leg straight. Three big breaths here. Bring both ends of the strap into your right hand. Left hand to left hip to keep it anchored down, relaxing your shoulders. And then gently sweeping your right leg over to the right. Finding a place that feels comfortable for you. You can either keep your arms straight, or it might feel better to reach your hand down the strap a bit, bend your elbow and rest your upper arm on the ground. 3 big breaths here. And then taking the same leg, sweep it across your body. Bring both ends of the strap now into your left hand and take your right thumb to right hip crease. Press the hip away and towards the right, so you're externally rotating through your thigh as you reach your leg over to the left. Now you might just feel this in the hamstring, you might feel this in the IT band, the outer leg line. Now I find this combination of stretches for the leg helpful when you're sitting for long periods, because sometimes when this area feels unused, I guess, to the back of the legs, there can be some pulling through the back. So I find this gives my low back a bit more space. 2 more breaths here. And then come back to center, switching sides. Left leg up, and then plant your right foot to the mat. So planting the opposite foot down gives the low back and hips more space. Maybe this feels better for you today. Maybe extending the right leg straight feels better for you today. Taking big sighs at the mouth. Another benefit for this stretch is thinking about what's going on with the spine. Find that neutral spine. Because again, when we're sitting for long periods, the head has a tendency to drop forwards a little bit. This gives the neck, chest a little bit more space. Bring both ends of the strap into your left hand now. Right hand rests on the right hip, rooting it down as you begin to sweep your left arm and leg to the left. An option, keep the arm straight-ish or hand reaches down the strap a bit and rest your upper arm on the ground. Couple breaths here. And then last stretch of this little trio, sweep your leg over to the right now. Both ends of the strap to your right hand. Take your left thumb this time to left hip crease. Press kind of the hip away and towards the left. Get a little bit of that rotation. And it helps root the hip down as well, so you feel a little bit more stretch. Personally, for me, this is the most intense of the three. It's always nice to be conscious of what feels more, what feels less. Last 2 big breaths. And then bring your leg back to center. De-strap yourself. Strap off to the side, hug your knees to chest. Movement or stillness. Gently place your feet back down to the mat. Hands can either go beside you or to your belly, up to you. Right foot to left thigh, and then press your right knee away from you to a point that feels interesting for the hip, not the knee. Layer 1, layer 2. Bring your left thigh into chest for a figure 4. Thread the needle, whatever you call it. Now, if you feel the head wants to lift for this, I like to think instead of supporting through the head, you can just bring your left foot back down to the ground. You can place a block or 2 underneath. You can even rest your foot against the wall. Nice long breaths. I find it so easy to forget to breathe. We're focused on so many different things. This is your opportunity to just focus on how your body feels and what's going on with your breath. Now keep your legs in the same shape. Gently place your left foot down to the mat and then cactus your arms beside you. Feel that broadness through chest. And you're gonna stay on your left foot. And then I want you to just rotate to the outside of your left foot. So your right foot reaches towards the ground, a little figure 4 twist, and then going to the opposite side. Going back and forth. Just kind of gets into the back and hips in a little bit of a different way. Because the sequence is designed to move the body in a little bit different ways to counter what's going on with your day. 1 more each way. And come back to center, feet plant to the ground. And then switching sides. Left foot, right thigh. Hug your right thigh in. And again, remember the options you have. If you're finding this a little bit challenging today, that's fine. We're all built different. Maybe your right foot instead rests against the wall. Maybe you place it on a block or 2. Fill your back and ribs with your breath. Softening. Two more big breaths. Keep your legs the same. Gently place your right foot down to the mat, cactus your arms. Same thing as before, so using your right foot now as kind of that pivot. Slowly lower your legs over to the right. Then you can kind of move the upper body with, and then move your legs over to the left. So make this sort of an intuitive movement, what feels interesting for you. Maybe look the opposite direction, just get creative. Also, as we move through the sequence today, paying attention to what posture you resonate with most, because any of these postures we do today can just be done on their own, depending on what your time frame is. Last one each way. And come back to center. Release both feet to the mat. And then hug your knees to chest. Even draw your nose up towards your knees. Find that rounding to the upper back. Gently place your head down. Feet back down to the mat. One more thing on the back, whale's tail. You're going to be placing your right knee on top of your left. So it's kind of like just like crossing your legs. Layer 1. Layer 2, bring your legs into your chest. Grab hold of your shins. It's called whale's tail because you can think of your legs looking like a whale's tail. It's up to you where you want to place your feet. They can be up higher or lower. The feet can get further away from you or closer to you. Similar shape to thread the needle, just gets a little bit of a different angle of the hip. 2 more breaths. And then unravel your legs, feet down to the mat for a moment, compare sides. When you feel ready, left knee to right. And then pull your legs into chest. So with all these shapes, it doesn't really matter what they look like. It's more what it feels like, what's going on for you today. Something doesn't feel right for you, backing off a bit. Two more breaths. Again, adjust where your feet are placed if you need a little bit of a different angle. And then unravel your legs, hug your knees to chest. Draw your nose up towards your knees again for the upper back stretch. And then grab the backs of your legs and just take a nice roll up to a seat. Scooch back if you need to be fully matted. Extend your legs out in front of you. Give a little shake out. Take your strap and then bring around both feet. Feel this, like, as you pull on the strap, feel your shoulders drop back. Feel this broadness through chest, drawing your chest slightly forwards and then lengthening through the back of the neck. When we were on our back initially with the hamstring stretch, that I found gets a little bit more into the legs. This, I want you to focus more, instead of the legs, ironically, I want you to think about the sense of length through your low back. Because personally, I find when sitting for long periods, that low back has a tendency to start to curl down. This kind of helps, like, almost train the body into find that length. And this is layer 1. Layer 2, you can keep on thinking about that lengthening through your spine. So every inhale, find that length. Every exhale, start to fold a bit. And then draw, like leaning forwards from sternum and belly button, kind of drawing forwards at the same time. Keep thinking about the shoulders drawing back. Feel that broadness through chest, lengthening through the back of the neck. And just flowing with your breath. Every inhale, find that length. Every exhale, soften forwards. And you might not go very far forwards. That's fine. That's not the goal. And something else to think about, if you find this quite easy, maybe you need a little bit more strength. Maybe not, just food for thought. 2 more breaths. Now keep this sort of folding action. Option to stay if you're super happy here, or let the strap go. See if you can keep the sense of lift through your low back and belly, but about mid-spine, start to let yourself curl forwards. Feel a stretch to the back of the neck, the shoulder blades wrap around. Arms can just rest on your legs or the mat. Take any sides here and just notice how this feels. You can lean your left ear over to your left shoulder for a bit. Feel a stretch to the side. And then right ear, right shoulder. Just notice how that feels. And come back to center, a few breaths. Take your time, slowly rolling up. Strap off to the side. Super feet behind you, coming to all fours. Thinking about lengthening to the back of the neck, so drawing your chin slightly in, feel the broadness through chest, rooting down with your shins. So even weight between your shins, the hips will want to move side to side with this next one. So notice how that feels with the four legs on the ground. From here, left hand behind head, press your head into hand, feel that broadness through chest, and try to keep that same sort of squareness of shoulders and hips. Everything stays the same except sweeping your left elbow up towards the ceiling and the opening through the chest, and sweep your left elbow towards your right arm. A few more like this. Inhale, sweep up, and then exhale, sweep down. 3 more. Nice long breaths. Last one. And then back to center. Right away, other side. So again, keep the shoulders and hips square, right hand behind head, press head into hand, find that length through the back of your neck. Sweep your right elbow up towards the ceiling, and then towards your left arm. Inhale, reaches up. Exhale, sweeps down. 3 more. Last 2. Final one. Back to center. Bring your knees wide, toes touch. Grab hold of your block. If you don't have a block, air block works fine for this. Have it on the like long, narrow end. And then place it between your palms, forehead down. Layer 1, stay. Layer 2, squeezing the block and reach the, bend your elbows, reach the block up to the ceiling. You get a little bit of an upper back / a lot of an upper back stretch. This can also be done with your palms connected if you don't like the block, that's fine. Now thinking about your chest sinking down. You might even want to scoot your elbows further forwards. Nice long breaths. Last breath here. Gently release the block back down to the mat. Walk your hands, plant them in front of your knees, and then roll up to a kneeling position. Head and shoulders last to arrive, rolling your shoulders back a few times, and forwards. We'll do 2 things with the shoulders from kneeling. If kneeling doesn't work, Cross-legged is great. High kneeling, even standing. Grabbing hold of your strap again. Before we move through these shoulder things, I want you to think about how the torso is moving. I want you to find the sense of length and stillness. Grab the strap shoulder distance in front of you, wrists long. Have a fairly loose grip. Keep the shoulders drawing back, neck and jaw relaxed. And then reach the strap up towards the ceiling. Then loosen the grip. Make sure you have nothing behind you. And bring the strap all the way around. And then reach all the way forwards. I always wear a high bun with this one, so if you're like me, you might need to be mindful about attacking your hair. Now, if you're not used to doing this range of motion, which I find a lot of people are not, you might have some clicking going on. It might not feel comfortable. You don't need to use the strap. You can do smaller circles. Because the way our body works is it is quite efficient. It'll only allow the movement that you do. So if the body thinks that you don't need that movement, it'll be like, great, I'll start to solidify that area for you. And not in like a crazy way. Sometimes it's as subtle as just finding the movement. The body's like, oh, just kidding. I'll give you that movement back. Sometimes there's more extreme cases, so that is out of my scope. So I always suggest going to, like, if you have that kind of movement, go see a physio, massage, maybe not at this time of year, but when everything goes back to normal. Let's do one more of each. But I find this such a great stretch for the shoulders, let the strap go. Okay. So define the sense of movement, stretch, and strength is good. So now we're gonna use the block. You can air block it. So what I mean by that is just have the same action with your arms, just without a block. The block just adds a little bit of sensation, like that compression, that pressing in. Extend your arms out in front of you, squeezing the block. Now the neck will want to participate, so I like to consciously move it around a bit to keep it chill. As you squeeze the block, pass the block forwards, pull it back. So you see how my shoulders are moving. These are straight arm scapular shrugs. If you did my plank tutorial last week, and if you haven't yet, check it out, it's great. We worked a little bit through this range of motion for planks. Okay, one more of each. And then find that middle ground. Keep squeezing the block, and then reach the block up to the ceiling. Keep the ribs drawing in. Keep squeezing your elbows in, and then bend your elbows just like we did in that child's pose variation. And extend your arms straight. 3 more like this, bend. And extend. Last 2, keep the neck chill. Last 1. And then release your arms. Roll your shoulders back. Roll your shoulders forwards. Ending in a nice cross-legged position. Just a simple twist. This shape does not work. Choose another leg variation that works best. You can even come onto your back for a twist. So inhale, lengthen. Find the length through your low back like we did with that seated forward fold. Right hand, left thigh, lifting up through your chest. Twist, look over your left shoulder, left hand rests behind you. One more big breath. Come back to center. Switch the crossing of your legs to the weird one. And then inhale, find the length. This time left hand, right thigh, lift up through your chest. Look over your right shoulder, right hand behind you. Find your breath. Last breath. Come back to center, rest your hands to thighs. Eyes open or closed. Taking a sighs out the mouth, letting it all go. And just take a moment to check in. Go onto the legs, the hips, the low back, the spine, the shoulders. So hopefully you feel like you have a little bit more space to get through the rest of your week. Again, my name is George. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified for the weekly videos, going over 10 to 15 minute sequences, tutorials, and more. See you next time. Thank you.